an utterly dominant display, and yet you haven't somehow managed to win the game.
Yeah, really pleased with big parts of the performance, and we've got to look at performances, but ultimately we want results. We want points on the board, and I do feel like it was 2 points dropped tonight, Jeff. You're right.
What was the thought then of how they've managed to get into this, get back into the game?
I thought, we got that goal, they had the man sent off, and we were looking completely dominant, as I really felt we were with 11 men as well. We've got to learn. We've been punished now in the last 2 games away from home with penalties, and in similar kind of fashion in a way. So I feel we can maybe get up to the ball a bit quicker and close the spaces a bit quicker, a little bit like we said the other day, and that's something that we've got to learn very quickly from. But the goal came a bit out of the blue, and it obviously gave them a fresh impetus and something to cling on to, and then they really stepped up the game as well. And we still had another couple of really good chances right at the death. We kept pushing, we kept trying, but unlucky, we weren't able to find that second goal, which I know I've said a couple of times lately. You can't do that much more than create the chances that we created, and then it's down to the boys to either hit the target or be ruthless, and that's something that we're going to keep trying to focus on and keep hitting home. But what I'm really pleased with was the performance and how we did create the chances, and we knew it was going to be difficult tonight, and we know that they're a little bit nervy and not in the best of moments, and I felt that we started the game really well. We were on top. A lot of the game seemed to be in this half, and we created 2 or 3 brilliant chances in the first half, so we were disappointed not to be up at half time. Second half was similar sort of fashion really, and then with the 10 men you expect us to go on. I expected us to go on, but we didn't.
You were winning all the battles all over the pitch, weren't you?
Yeah, and like I said, there was loads of good individual performances and lots of parts of the game that I was really happy with. We're always going to be a little bit down and emotional, and then because of the result, you look at the bigger picture. You look at the result, and you think, if only, and you're a little bit frustrated. But the lads gave everything as they always do. Again, that's what, and again, a massive thank you to all the fans that have travelled a hell of a long way and safe journey back. I know they're going to be home late. That's why they're backing the lads and with them right at the end, because they can see that everyone was running so hard and fighting really hard and played well.
I haven't seen the penalty back, but it sort of came from nothing. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was obviously the hopeful ball spun into the channel area. Locks was pretty close to the lad that attempted to cross or shoot or whatever, and it strikes his hand, but he's close. People have to make their own minds up on it. It's been given now. We still had enough time then to try and get a second, and again we tried, but we couldn't get it over the line. Hit the woodwork and scrambles and all sorts of stuff, but couldn't do it.
It's one of those funny rules, isn't it? It's always how close was he, so could he have pulled it away? But I mean, how close is close and how close is not close enough?
I don't know. It's in a way, I'm not surprised he gave it once they've gone down to 10 men. The crowd really get behind him, and it gives them a little bit of a them against everyone else mentality, and there was a big appeal, and I'm not surprised it was given. But like I said, it did hit his arm.
When you went ahead, it looked like that was it then, didn't it? Because you've been so dominant that it felt like that was the end of the game.
Yeah, but it wasn't, and we knew there was still enough time for anything to happen. Look, I've got to try and look at the positives as well. Lots of good performances. Lads gave everything. It's a point away from home. Never going to be really easy, but we did deserve to win. Created a lot of good chances, which is good. It's something we've been focusing on as well, because we've been very solid and resilient. In the last 5 league games, we've only conceded 2 penalties. So there's lots of good things as well that we've got to make sure we realise. But we're frustrated as well because we should have won the game.
Standout player was Jordan Clark, who's in the form of his life at the moment. He ran everything in there. He's
really confident. He's in a great moment. Plays with a real humility, but with an arrogance, which I like as well, and a confidence. He's really important to us. Great lad as well. Good for Morris to get that goal, because he's obviously come back from injury, and he's just that's the nice step for him. Yeah, I mean, he's been a threat. He's scored goals since we've been here. He's QPR, West Brom. We know he's a threat, and he can score all types of goals as well. I thought it was a really well taken one, and. Yeah, really pleased for him, because he's such a big player for us.
Football's annoying, isn't it? Because especially at this stage of the season where there are 15 games to go, and every game is now so critical. The difference between 1 point and 3 is obvious, isn't it?
It is. Look, it's done, so we can't. There's no point moping about it. If you don't win, don't lose. So we take a point home, and gets us to the 50, and now we've got to keep looking upwards and focus on the next one. And we haven't got long either, and we're up against the best team in the league by a long way as well. So we've got a short recovery time now, long journey back. Look after the boys. They've got to eat well, they've got to sleep well, recover well. Staff will do a lot of work with them. And we'll have really 1 day's prep, Friday to prepare for that game.
And that's going to be a different proposition to this one, isn't it? They play such attractive football, Burnley. They're an amazing team. They've
done a brilliant job. I'm sure we'll talk about them, after the game as well. But what Vincent and his staff and the players have done is excellent this year. They dominate games. They react so well as soon as they've lost it. That's why, and then they control the game. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough, but they've got to lose at some stage.
Yeah, 2 away games, but now you've got 3 out of 4 at home coming up, so that's nice for you.
It is, back in front of our home fans to get the place rocking, and we've got to provide them with some entertainment and some energy, and hopefully we'll get some good points on the board.